Good morning, welcome to Bitcoin Mounts. My name is Joseph. Today we're going to look at the interesting find by Steve from Crypto Crew University about where he thinks Bitcoin is going to go and how long it's going to take to go there. And it's very interesting for me, and I also think it's very realistic. Now, before we jump into Steve's video, Dion, Steve is going to make a prediction where he thinks Bitcoin is going to go. Now, before we do the reveal and see what he says, what do you see on the long-term charts? Where do you think Bitcoin is going?
Morning guys, morning Joseph. Let me share my screen there. So this is just the monthly Bitcoin chart, and if you just map out the previous two highs and assume that the next high would touch this line, which normally it does, or it would break that line. So we have potential with this line, you can see, to go up to 100,000. And just looking at the dates here, it says 1 March 2026, and those dates are normally fairly kind of accurate, so we could hit this line anywhere where Steve's video is. And we can also have a look at this rainbow price chart. So this also gives you an idea of the times that we were down in the blue zone where we are at the moment, and after that you can see we went from the last time we touched it into the red zone, stayed there for quite some time, broke out above it, back into the blue, and we went up into the red zone, back into the blue, we went up to yellow and the dark orange. So if we just zoom in a bit there, you'll see they've got a target of 100,000 here in just the light orange. So previous times that we've come out of this blue zone, we've gone right up to the top. So this looks like 262,000. So, but let's just call it 100. Yeah, it's just mid zone, and we've always hit that. So yeah, there's definitely potential, Joseph, in the next year or so to go that high.
Okay, so Dion, how long do you think it's going to take for us? So you say $100,000, and when do you think we can hit it?
I would say between a year and 2 years, 18 months, just guessing.
Okay, so what's interesting on Steve's video, if he just take the amount of time the previous three Bitcoin runs happen, it's interesting. The previous two, the long runs, was within 1 day, the same length. I think it's within one daily candle, the length from the high to the low was just 1 day difference in length. So it was like almost exactly. And then the other one was about 2-3 weeks in difference in size. So I went and measured them. So it's actually incredible how similar each one of those runs were, even though we had all of these market conditions that was completely different every time. So now, according to his sum that he did here, we're looking at May of 2025 when we're gonna hit the high. It's a long time from now, yeah. And then it's gonna be a 90k Bitcoin. So it's not completely 100,000, it's 90,000, but it's very interesting how he gets to it. So let's jump in and listen to Steve.
We're gonna start here. Back in 2010, 2011, with this top here, it was relatively short, but Bitcoin had a 327,000% return, meaning from our bottom to our top was 327,000%, which is just ridiculous. But what's fascinating is that if you take this number and you divide it by 5.3, it predicted this next top, meaning if you took 327,000, this number here, and you just divide it by 5.3, how did it predict this number? And you may say, well, that's just a one-off. If you just take this one to try to get this number, it's a one-time thing with this 5.3, because Bitcoin ran all the way down from this $2 price point all the way up here. It's just a coincidence. It just happened to be this, but it's not. Because if we take this number, which again, Bitcoin rallied from $2 all the way up to 1,200 and something, which is absurd. But if you just take this 62,000% number and let's apply our same theory, let's divide by 5.3 again. There's no way that it could reach this number. There's no way that it would be that accurate in predicting the tops. Well, let's run the number. and do it at home. 62,000 and change divided by 5.3. Keep in mind, Bitcoin went from this price and crashed all the way down and spent all this time at the bottom and doing all of these things, and month after month after month after month after month after month after month of a bull run, and nobody in planet Earth would possibly know where the top was. There's no way to know that. But if we took this number divided by 5.3, it equals this number. And that predicted the top years before it happened. So now we're 2 for 2. It predicted this top and it predicted this top. There's no way in hell that same number of 5.3 predicted this top years before it happened. There's no way. There's no way, right? But here we are, because Bitcoin crashed from 20K and we crashed all the way down to 3,000. And nobody knew what the hell was going on. A lot of people were calling Bitcoin was dead. Nobody knew what was going on. And then we went on this crazy rally, and it was really destroyed by this COVID crash. And there was all sorts of curveballs and chaos. And we had this double top, which for the first time ever, we had a double top, and it was chaos. It was all of these things Bitcoin has never seen before. But years earlier, it already predicted the top. If you take this 11,600 and change and you divide that by 5.3, it already predicted the top years before the top happened. This is where things really start heating up. And you can check the math at home. Do this number divided by 5.3. It equals this number. It gave us a percent. It said Bitcoin's next rally from our bottom to our top is going to be roughly 2,200%. That's what this theory gave us. It wasn't right once. It wasn't right twice. It was precisely right, fascinatingly accurate 3 times in a row. Or in other words, for Bitcoin's entire history, this has been accurate at predicting Bitcoin's next top years in advance. The only number you really need to predict Bitcoin's price is the bottom, right? As soon as you know where Bitcoin bottoms, you just take the math based on the percent and you go from the bottom to the top. Now I'm going to unveil where Bitcoin's price target is. And we're going to do it from a few numbers. We're going to do it saying that this number where Bitcoin bottomed, where we believe it bottomed, is the number. And we'll do it for the folks that believe that the bottom is at 10K, okay, or below. Now, this is where things get really interesting, right? You have to know where the bottom is, then you just take the percent and you go to town. But things get very, very interesting when you do that, because when you take this number, 2,200%, and you divide it by our 5.3, it's like 413%, right? Roughly 417, it's right around there. That's not a lot. So one could say, hey, Bitcoin has been losing steam. Easy to say. Any new market will be hot in the beginning and you won't see those returns ever again, right? So this diminishing returns, this is incredibly accurate, right? Ben talks a lot about this. It's purely based on fact. It's right in front of us. We're getting less and less return. You can't argue it. You can't. We were at 327,000%. Then we went to 62,000. Then we went to 11,000. Then we're at 2,000. That's right in front of our face. Now, the next cycle top should be 416%. It should be 416% from the bottom. But what else is interesting is the past 2 cycles had exactly 35 bars, or precisely 1,066 days. You can see it here. From our precise bottom to our top was exactly the same number of days. How crazy is that? 1,065 days. So let's talk about when first. We'll talk about when the top, and then I'm going to unveil the price targets. When the top, let's say this is our bottom, right? When the top, we're just going to do 1,000 and what was it? 1,065 days, right? 35 bars. So 1,065 days, 35 bars will bring us to May 2025. So May 2025, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for that to be our next top. So we have some years to come. We have some years to come from where we are now to get up to May 2025. But what's going to happen? How high could Bitcoin really go, right? Let's first do our measured move from below 10K. All those folks that are screaming we're going below 10K, let's make you guys really devastated right now. because we do not believe we're going below 10K. We called for the bottom to be in a little over 90 days ago, and there's been no facts in the charts that have come to change our mind. There's significant facts, and you can watch our other videos that the bottom is in, but we'll leave that for other videos. Let's do our measured move from 10K, because again, in May 2025, we're going to reach our top, but let's say we haven't bottomed yet, and let's say it's going to be about 10K, and we talked about 416% gain for our next market cycle top. So 416% gets us to $56,000 Bitcoin if the bottom is around 10K. Okay, pretty crazy, mind-blowing. But again, we're talking about this number that's been right Bitcoin's entire history at predicting the next top. I'm going to unveil this number, and I'm going to talk about, do I honestly believe we're going to hit this number? Because we believe the bottom is in. So it's pretty easy for us to do the measured move from there at 416% to see where we're going to get to. All right. Are you ready? Because it's not what you want to hear, but you will respect it because it's all based on facts. It's all based on facts. And then I'm going to unveil it. And then I'm going to talk about, what do I think is going to happen? Do I think we're going to reach at this kind of a number, or this is highly unlikely? Let's talk about it. So what do we say? 416%, right? We think the bottom is in, so we're going to measure it from right here. And we're just going to go up. Right now we're at 300% and we're climbing. Bitcoin is at 379% and we're climbing. We're up at 416%, roughly 90K top for Bitcoin, and roughly May 2025. You can clip it. We'll see. Roughly May 2025, the price will be a roughly $90,000 Bitcoin.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Dion, what did you think about that findings of Steve?
Jeez, it's amazing how similar those dates are. That's insane. It makes you wonder, how manipulated this actually is. It's like it's like perfect to the day, to the day and the hour. It's amazing. Yeah. So, but it's looking good. It's looking good for some up run sometime soon.
Yeah. Well, 90,000 Bitcoin is going to give us what? A little bit over 4 times the money if you would buy with today's value. Where is Bitcoin price? 18,461 is the price right now when we talk. So there's definitely, you can't go and buy a house or a property or a car or a bar of gold and have it go 4 times in value in such a short amount of time. So that means Bitcoin is still about the best thing you can buy if you want to buy and hold. Awesome guys, we're going to be back tomorrow again. Hopefully Dion is going to have a signal for us. We just want to wait for this market to settle down a little bit and find support, and then we can definitely buy something and make a little bit of money in the sideways time. Have a fantastic day. Thank you, Dion.
Great guys, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.